So what makes Vito Basso so attractive facially? Welcome back to LookLogix, everyone. Today we have a very interesting model to assess or analyze, which is Vito Basso. Now, I did his front and side profile on faceiq Labs with their new additions and all the new measurements and everything, so it's going to be a great video, and I'm really excited for this analysis. And then we get to see from a scale of 1 to 10 how attractive he is facially with his harmony. Now, it was kind of hard getting some good pictures that I could use because there's also someone called John Cortajarena. Jarane, different things like that, but it's Jon is his name. He looks similar, and their photos often get mixed up on the side profiles, but the front profile is pretty easy to tell. This guy Vito looks a little more has more of a baby face a little bit, but both very attractive people, and today we'll be doing Vito. So we'll start with the front view ratios, and then go into the key strengths and weaknesses, and then the side views. So let's start with the front ratio, and his lowest score is his eyebrow tilt. Now you may be like, what? He has nice thick eyebrows. They're nice positively tilted. They look aggressive. They're low set. But this is actually too positively tilted. 16.6 and 17.1 degrees. And the mapping is okay. You can just see how intensely tilted they are. I mean, they're very down, and they are just too positively tilted. So they get a 4.1 out of 10. Now what's great about this is that they're thick and they have enough height, so he could actually work on changing his brow squinting angle and then shave these down a little bit by cutting where it droops and then cutting down the height on here so it's a little more even, and that will give the illusion that they're less aggressively tilted, which will work pretty easy, and they'll still be nice and thick and pretty tall. So that's an easy fix right there. Moving on, his other out of the ideal score for a 5.68 out of 10 of his is his deviation of his ipsilateral alar angle and then his jaw frontal angle. So this is the 90-90 for his jaw and his eye position. You can see the jaw is pretty good, but the eye position is a little out at 85.8 degrees. And this is what's going on with his face, why it just has that look. Overall, it's pretty good though. The nose tip position is a 6.5 out of 10, which isn't bad at all. However, it's not perfectly ideal at minus 1.1 millimeter. Moving on, 7.43 out of 10 for his lower lip to upper lip ratio. Definitely some things going on with the lips that make them less ideal. They look kind of inflamed in this photo. Obviously, when we're picking out these photos for analysis, since I'm not taking them myself, right? We're trying to find someone's public photos. We really don't want distortion. We don't want them to have a slight angle. And also their health indicators can really change. Your health will be the number one cause on how attractive you are, by far. I mean, if you're really bloated, really morbidly obese, or really, vegan, skinny, frail, thinned, balding hair, your eyes are really dark, your sclera, which is the white part of your eyes, looking really unhealthy with lots of red, black circles under your eyes, so many different things, big pimples, all these things, inflammation on the face. So his lips do look a little bit inflamed, is what I'm saying, around this area. And there's definitely, if you study iridology and different things and some other facial markers which go into more advanced therapy and alternative medicine and things, there's definitely a lot going on with his face. He's quite unhealthy in this picture. It is monochrome, so we can't see the coloring, but especially around this area there's some health markers that the face is communicating with. But this video is about his facial attractiveness, not really his health. I did want to bring it up though. I think it's quite relevant, and we need to keep in mind when we're looking at these objective measurements. So moving on to some more interesting scores. His top third is an 8.6 out of 10. I think that's pretty good. His forehead is quite large. Middle face mid face is shortened. I have a similar mid face to this, actually very, very similar, like very, very similar to where the forehead is larger and then the jaw is, or the lower third is large. Actually, we have almost the same facial thirds, me personally, comparing to Vito Basso with this shorter mid face. Moving on, we have an 8.92 total facial width to height ratio. His middle third, 9.52 by itself. Eye aspect ratio, really good. Now it gets almost to the 10s by going in with, yeah, great. And you can just see the rest of the scores. Lateral canthal tilt, nice and positive tilted. I mean, these are some amazing eyes. Look at that. Those just look incredible. Nice thick eyelashes. Intercanthal nasal width ratio is also a 10. Makes sense. Mouth corner position is a 10. That looks great. So here's his front profile. And by the way, guys, if you want to use this app for yourself, we're going to get into his plan and potential now, which is the first video in this. And then you get to see what his scoring will be at the end of this video. And then we're going to go through side ratios and you get to see all these measurements for your face. You just input your front and side profile. They help you landmark it and everything. It's really becoming a much better app and a much better tool. So you can use 20% off the code LookLogix. I'll put a link in the description in the pinned comment if you want to try it out. And let's move over to the side ratios. So for Vito's side ratios, this is the side profile I got, and it's a little rough comparative to his front profile. You can see this upturned nose, a lot of things going on here. His lowest scores now. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of red and orangey yellow. His lowest score is the nasal width to height ratio at 1.34. Ouch. Lower lip S-line position is a 2.05 out of 10. Frankfurt tip angle 2.65. Nose tip rotation angle 2.71. Nasal frontal angle 3.56. Upper lip S-line position 3.6. Lower lip borestone line 4.8. So some really on ideal ranges here, and you can see what's making his face so low scoring on the side. His ears kind of flare out. They're kind of wide on the side, and then his flattened brow ridge, upturned nose, just from what we can view, you know. Oh, and then the neck here, a lot of excess subcutaneous fat around the neck. And then the rest are 10, like orbital vector is neutral. Recession relative Frankfurt plane is not really there. That's good. Overall pretty good. It's just, yeah, the nasal mental angle. So you can see what's going on here. So let's actually see what is Vito Basso's scoring with faceiq Labs. Now before we check it out, put a guess in really quickly. You don't need to make a comment. I mean, that's kind of stupid when I'm about to tell you, but try to guess right now. What do you think it's going to be? Is it like a 6? Do you think he's a 6? Do you think he's an 8? Do you think he's a 6.5, 7.5? What do you think? Vito Basso gets a 7.77 out of 10. Top 0.2%. Top 0.2. 0.2 decimal. 1 in 562 people. This is an incredible score. Here you can see on the visual mapping, his front view gets an 8.82 out of 10. That's incredible. That's really, really high. And then his side only gets a 5.94, which is actually still really good. It's the top 23%. But the front view gets a 0.002% top. And then the combined score, as I just mentioned, is a 7.77. So this is a great harmony. Excellent. Exceptional harmony, actually. And yeah, this is wonderful. I really quickly want to go over his key strengths and weaknesses, and then we're going to go over this really exciting plan, your plan and potential. So his key strengths, I'll scroll through these and you can pause the video if you'd like to check out. obviously his jaws there, additional key strengths, harmonious facial convexity for sure, ramus length, he has a nice tall ramus, and then his areas of improvement: soft and weak brow ridge. The forehead has a softer, less prominent ridge than ideal. You can see how that looks more feminine and weakened for sure. Moving on, round neck region, overprojected nose for sure, overly protruded lower lip, but he has a lot of room for improvement. Fortunately, there's a lot of things he can do. So let's go over his plan and potential. Now, I'm not gonna go over this with everyone that I rate for these videos, but I think this one's going to be really fun, and I want to show you guys now that it's just been added. So you may see all these things. So this is basically the your plan and potential page, and with the credits and things, with the pro plan only, you can get this. Basically, it'll tell you what you can get to. So the front can go to a 9 out of 10 from an 8.8, and then the side to a 7.8 out of 10. So his total score could be a 8.6 target, plus or minus. And these are the procedures you could do. This isn't just surgery and things, but there's minor, moderate, all different types of things. This is your total cost, and you may be thinking, what? 20 grand? What? 60 grand? What? These are procedures, and it's giving you the estimated cost in US dollar. Action 6, projected timeline. You can set this up. This is for the money spent. So the first one is going to be the forehead augmentation. That's going to give you the full timeline. It gives you the price for each surgical right there, minimally invasive, different things, foundational, eyebrow shaping. So I mentioned this in the beginning of the video: waxing, threading, or tweezing for defined brows. This is pretty affordable. You know, who wouldn't do this? Especially if you're a man. It's like very simple. Now, certain things, though, get into like the facelift. It's surgical. You can really damage your skin. You know, it's invasive. You're going under anesthetic. And when your body's in that subconscious state, it takes in a lot of things and it goes directly into your subconscious. So you have to be careful with this stuff. And I highly suggest, if you do any of this, obviously there's a disclaimer with this right here, that you really look through it and you make sure you're in a clarity set of mind when you're doing anything like this, because I would always factor in the costs of why are you doing it in life, right? Will it make you look so much better that it's worth it? Then do it, right? But there are certain things like the nerve damage and the risk of infection, which won't be too big of an issue if you have a competent surgeon and a competent physician or person to work on it, and then you're healthy yourself. And then the most important thing I would say, alongside being conscious and competent yourself when you're making these decisions, not just doing it for the following the trend, is to max out your natural potential. Absolute natural potential first. I mean, the stupidest thing you could do, if some people actually still do this, is being obese and then wanting to get segmental liposuction, like right here, and have fat removed, like subcutaneous visceral fat, things like that, out of the face and certain other parts like the facelift, when you're not at your ideal, feel your best weight. It's just ridiculous. So max out your natural potential. I mean, it's so common sense in that aspect. I really like that it does show the minimally invasive, foundational, all these. And you can see here, so he has some things he can do: suborbital rim implants, implant to enhance the upper orbital hollows for proper orbital definition, all these different things. And then it tells you your tracker you can add, checklist, full results, 3 to 6 months, risks and side effects. This is good. You can see this. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to start doing surgeries and things, it is your free will, and I'm not against it at all. Some people use it because they really, really need it. You know, health-wise, certain things, there are a limit to that. But really, if you're not looking, many people really screw it up, especially actors. They really just pump themselves with Botox and they look absolutely disgusting, absolutely horrid, horrific, horrendous, disgusting, worst face. Like I have to look away. I feel like I'm about to vomit looking at their face. These certain people, you'll see in just their lips, and they're all swollen. It's disgusting. Okay, so this is much different. When the facelift, oh, I'm gonna get my facelift, I'm gonna get some Botox. That's bull, absolutely nonsense. You actually need to look at this. You don't want to overdo it, and you really need to be paying attention to the morph and everything that your face will look like afterwards, right? You're gonna have to adjust. It's like cutting long hair off and going to bald, or the other way around, right? It's quite a big change, and with anything, it's not really natural. So I like to be as natural as possible myself, but in this current world we live in, there's only so much you can do, right? So personally, make sure you spend your time looking at this, and there's the answer on what makes Vito Basso so attractive facially. Thanks for sticking around if you watched till the end of this video. It was really fun talking about the plan and potential aspect. This is definitely new. It's interesting. And thank you all for watching. If you'd like me to rate anyone else's face, just leave a comment. And once again, if you want to use the app for yourself, I'll have 20% off just for you with the code LookLogix in the referral section. And I'll put a link in the description and the pinned comment. See you around.